Alright folks, I'm going to have a go at making some of these yarn bowls today, so I'll show you how to make a yarn bowl. You can do any sort of design on that. I think that's where they put the wool in, wind it round. That's one that's not been fired yet. That's a bit of a simpler one. But they're all the basic sort of design, just a simple bowl and just a slot and a hole to somewhere to put your yarn in apparently, or your wool. Don't know what the two holes are for. I've just seen some pictures. I think some people put the knitting needles through, but not being a knitter, I've no idea. So anyway, I'll just show you how I make one of these. Using about pound and 3/4 of clay, so just going to make a very simple bowl to start off with. So I'll just pull it up slightly upwards and outwards because it's going to be a bowl, it'll be wider at the top. And I'll just lift her up and out a bit. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to try and make like a beaded rim. So what I'm going to do with the top is make it quite thin and then flatten it off into a sharpish edge like so. And then roll the rim, roll that over. Don't worry, it doesn't get any air trapped. And that gives the impression of a really thick top without actually using a big thick piece of clay. So I'll just widen this bowl out and finish it off. So a dead simple shape, nothing fancy. Because I'm cutting a hole and a slot in the rim, I need to leave this just a few hours. I need to actually cut the slot before I trim the pot, because if I leave it till the morning, till the bottom's trimmable, then the top will be too dry to cut. So what I'll do, I'll leave this a couple of hours and then I'll cut the slot in, show you how I do that. But that's just basically the basic shape bowl. Like I said, nothing fancy with one of these little beaded rims. Well, hi folks, now it's slightly drier than it was this morning. It's quite dry on the top. I couldn't leave it until tomorrow, until this bit was hard, so I could trim it and turn it, because the top would be far too dry to cut out. So I'll just start off cutting the little holes out. I'll just show you one. That's the sort of idea I did this morning. Just a little J and 2 holes. I got a bit carried away when these are some finished ones here. I did get a bit carried away and did some fancy spirals, but as you can see, because that bit's very thin, it's dropped in the kiln, and that bit was that one's a bit of a more over the top one. But I think we'll just stick to the little J shapes. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to use a little punch. It's an old bullet case of all things with a nail in it. So I'm just going to put the hole in first. Don't know whether you'll be able to see. It's always a bit funny these angles when you're doing things, but anyway, it's just a matter of punching a hole through like that, taking that out, and now it's just a matter of doing the little J thing, or the little curved line, and cutting it out. So I'm using a little needle, if you can see. I did have a really fine needle. This is a little bit thicker, so this might leave a few little rough marks, but I can sponge those off later. And then what I forgot about was, if you consider that's the outside mark, that actually ends up as the inside there, and that is the inside, ends up as the outside. So basically you want to be doing the right hand side, which will end up on the left hand side. The right hand side at the bottom will end up as the left hand side at the top. So I'm just going to cut down with this needle and just make a little curve and hold the top Might have to just do a little bit of sawing at the top because it's quite hard. Well, sorry about that, folks. My card filled up for some reason. I don't know whether it'll have caught it, so we'll keep going anyway. So that's the inside bit done. So I'm just going to do a little cut now to form another little channel. And then we'll come out with this at the right hand side, making another sort of slope there, and you can see it's a bit tough there. So that's that. So we'll take this out. So that's what we've got now, a little shape. So basically, as you can see, it's a little bit rough because of all the sort of burr marks, but you can simply just scrape a few of those off, and then with a sponge just smooth it all off. So I'll just do that. That's a bit fiddly. There should be a better way of doing it. I've tried it with the knife I do the piercing with, but because it's quite a thick pot, it doesn't seem to work very well. But just a little sponge just seems to tidy it up. And that's it, really. Yeah, like I said, you can do any sort of shape of these. I don't know what, I mean, I'm not a knitter. I've no idea what the ideal shape for these yarn bowls is, but I've seen a few pictures on the internet and there's a few similar to this, so this is probably about the simplest one I've done. There's some getting a bit carried away and getting too intricate, but that's not too bad. And then finally, for some reason, they put a couple of holes in at the side, whether that's to poke some more wool through or to stick the knitting needles through. So I'll just use another smaller punch and just poke another couple of holes out and just smooth those off, and that's about it, really. That's my little yarn ball cut out, and I'll just trim it all up tomorrow when this is hardened off, just on the back, and then that'll be it finished. So that's what they look like. That's what they look like finished, glazed. Put a little design in the bottom, but anyway, go mad as you want with the spiral design. That's about it.